Imagine holding a coin that looks ordinary, a small copper Lincoln penny from 1964, and discovering it could be worth nearly $1 million. Sounds impossible, right? Yet, collectors across America are uncovering treasures that could change their lives forever. The 1964 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny isn't just another coin from your change jar. It's a piece of American history, a time capsule from an era when gas cost 30 cents a gallon and the Beatles were storming the airwaves. Minted in Philadelphia, this coin has no mint mark, which, for most people, means nothing. But for the few who understand its secrets, it could mean everything. Let's start with a simple truth. Not all pennies are created equal. The 1964 no-mint mark penny is composed mostly of copper, and more than 2.6 billion were made. At first glance, that sounds like it should be worthless beyond its 1-cent face value. Yet, certain examples, especially those struck in pristine condition or with rare minting errors, have fetched staggering prices at auctions. One such coin, in near-perfect condition with a sharp strike and flawless luster, sold for an astonishing $964,000. Yes, you heard that right, almost $1 million for a single penny. But how could something so small, so seemingly insignificant, hold such enormous value? The answer lies in a mix of rarity, condition, and timing. During the early 1960s, the U.S. Mint was under enormous pressure. Coin shortages swept the nation, and millions of people began hoarding coins for their copper content. The result? A frenzied period of overproduction and human error. Some coins were struck off-center, others double-dyed, and a few displayed subtle yet valuable differences in design details, like the shape of Lincoln's bust, the lettering, or the sharpness of the 4 in 1964. These tiny imperfections transformed ordinary coins into rare collectibles. Imagine this. You empty your change jar one evening, just for fun. You glance at a few old pennies, 1958, 1962, 1964, and then something catches your eye. The shine looks different. The strike seems unusually crisp. You take a closer look, and suddenly your heart skips a beat. Could this be one of those rare 1964 no-mint mark pennies worth a fortune? Most people would dismiss it, but not you, because today you know what to look for. Now, here's where it gets truly fascinating. Condition is everything. A 1964 penny found in circulation might fetch a few dollars if it's in good shape. But a coin preserved in mint state, untouched, gleaming, and flawless, can command prices that rival luxury cars. Graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC, top condition examples can easily exceed 6 figures. Some collectors and investors even compare rare pennies to fine art, small masterpieces that appreciate in value over time. And let's not forget the emotional pull of nostalgia. This was the last year the Lincoln penny was made with a high copper content before the mint began shifting to cheaper materials. It marks the end of an era, the golden age of true American coinage. Holding one of these pennies is like holding a piece of your grandparents' America when every cent meant something. That emotional connection only fuels demand among collectors. But here's the catch, and here's where the story takes a turn. With so many fake listings and exaggerated claims online, thousands of people are unknowingly selling valuable coins for pennies on the dollar. A rare 1964 penny that could bring life-changing money has too often been tossed into a Coinstar machine or handed over at a garage sale. It's almost painful to think about, isn't it? That's why knowledge is your greatest currency. If you're serious about discovering whether your old coins are worth thousands, or even millions, now is the time to act. Don't wait. Every year, more of these coins are damaged, cleaned, or lost forever, shrinking the pool of surviving examples and driving prices higher. And here's something few people know. Certain 1964 pennies have unique varieties that even experts missed for decades. For example, the rare double-die obverse, where Lincoln's profile or the date shows a distinct doubling effect, is like the holy grail of copper coins. Imagine finding one of those in your old family coin jar. It's not just a penny anymore. It's a passport to financial freedom. Still think you don't have one worth looking at? Let me ask you this. How many times have you tossed a handful of coins into a drawer, promising to sort them later? What if one of those coins, just one, could pay off your mortgage, fund your retirement, or buy you the dream home you've always wanted? Every great discovery starts with curiosity. And sometimes, with just a little patience, that curiosity turns into fortune. Coin collecting isn't just a hobby anymore. It's a modern-day gold rush. And those who understand how to identify and preserve these treasures are the ones who profit the most. Of course, not every 1964 penny is worth a fortune. But here's the beautiful part. Even the process of checking your collection connects you to history. You start noticing patterns, learning mint marks, understanding scarcity. Before you know it, you've turned a few minutes of curiosity into a potentially life-changing skill. The coin market today is booming, driven by global collectors and investors searching for tangible assets that retain value. In uncertain times, rare coins have become a symbol of stability and prestige. And the 1964 Lincoln penny, especially in top condition, has become one of the most sought-after pieces in the entire Lincoln cent series. Now, imagine telling your friends or family that your simple jar of pennies turned into a six-figure discovery. They'd probably laugh until they see the auction receipt. That's the beauty of this pursuit. It's not just about money. It's about the thrill of the find, the story behind it, and the legacy you leave behind. So here's your challenge. Tonight, go through your coins. Look for that 1964 no-mint mark penny. Check for details, sharper edges, perfect shine, any doubling on the date or lettering. If you find one that looks unusual, don't rush to clean it. That could destroy its value. Instead, get it graded. Handle it carefully, because you might just be holding a small, round ticket to a new financial future. And remember, fortune doesn't always shout. Sometimes, it whispers quietly from the past, waiting for someone with the eyes to see it and the courage to believe. If you've enjoyed uncovering the story behind the 1964 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, imagine what else might be hiding in your collection. There are thousands of coins out there, each with the potential to change someone's life. So before you spend another penny, make sure it's not worth $1 million. Stay curious, stay informed, and never underestimate the power of what's already in your hands. Because sometimes the smallest treasures hold the biggest rewards. And if you want to discover more coins worth money and learn the strategies to turn your collection into wealth, hit that subscribe button, because your next fortune might just be one video away. Imagine pulling out a handful of old pennies from a dusty jar and realizing that one of them could be worth nearly $1 million. Sounds unbelievable, right? But what if I told you that a simple 1979 mint mark Lincoln penny, something you might have in your pocket right now, has sold for as high as $969,000? This isn't a fairy tale or a collector's rumor. It's a true story about hidden value, timing, and the power of knowledge. And today, we're uncovering exactly why this ordinary-looking penny could be your ticket to an extraordinary fortune. It all starts with the humble 1979 Lincoln penny, struck at the Denver Mint, identified by the small D beneath the date. Most people overlook it, thinking it's just another piece of copper-plated zinc. But that's where the magic begins. Because in the world of coin collecting, small details can mean massive rewards. And the difference between a 1-cent coin and a $1 million coin could be as subtle as a tiny minting error invisible to the untrained eye. Back in 1979, the United States Mint was transitioning between different engraving technologies. Some dies used to strike pennies weren't properly aligned, and in certain batches, design elements were doubled or misplaced. A few rare examples emerged with what's called a double die obverse or a die break, resulting in coins that collectors would one day go crazy for. These rare variations became the hidden treasure of modern numismatics. The kind of treasure sitting silently in jars, drawers, and forgotten collections across America. Now, let's face it. Most of us have touched hundreds, if not thousands, of pennies throughout our lives. We've tossed them into fountains, left them in tip jars, maybe even vacuumed them off the floor once or twice. But the 1979 D penny is no ordinary coin. For the sharp-eyed collector or the lucky finder, it can transform from a dull copper disc into a life-changing discovery. Imagine finding one in your change and realizing you're holding the equivalent of a luxury home in your hand. That's not just luck. That's opportunity meeting awareness. But how exactly does this coin reach such staggering values? The answer lies in rarity, condition, and demand. The rarest examples are those struck with full mint luster, showing crisp details and little to no wear. Professional grading services like PCGS and NGC assess these coins using the Sheldon scale, where a perfect MS-70 represents a flawless strike. The few 1979 D pennies graded near perfection, especially with unique errors or exceptional eye appeal, have fetched jaw-dropping sums in private auctions. And that's how one penny's current market value reached an astounding $969,000. Let's pause for a second. What would you do if you stumbled upon that coin? Pay off your mortgage? Buy your dream car? Or maybe finally start that business you've always dreamed of? The truth is, these coins aren't just collectible, they're life changers. And here's where it gets even more exciting. Experts believe that many of these high-value 1979 D pennies are still out there, undiscovered, tucked away in jars or coin rolls, waiting for someone like you to find them. There's a catch, though. The window of opportunity is closing fast. As more collectors and treasure hunters learn about these coins, the supply of unsearched rolls is shrinking. Every day, more people are scouring their old coin stashes, hoping to strike gold or copper in this case. So the question becomes, will you act now, or will you be the one watching from the sidelines as others cash in on the pennies you overlooked? Let's talk about what to look for. When you examine a 1979 D penny, start with the mint mark. It should be a clear D beneath the date. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to check for doubling on Lincoln's face, especially around his eye and jawline. Look closely at the letters in Liberty and In God We Trust. If you notice any distortion or doubling, congratulations, you might just be holding one of the most valuable modern pennies ever minted. And if your coin shines with a brilliant red or red-brown hue, showing minimal wear, that's another sign of potential high value. Now here's the humorous part. While most people are out there chasing lottery tickets, the real jackpot might be jingling in their pockets. You don't need to spend money to find treasure, you just need to look closely at what you already have. Isn't it funny how people can walk past wealth every single day without even noticing? Still, finding one of these coins requires patience and persistence. Many collectors spend months hunting, sorting through thousands of pennies before they strike lucky. But those who do, those who stay curious and persistent, are the ones who end up changing their lives forever. Just imagine the feeling of sending in a coin for grading, waiting nervously for weeks, and then opening that envelope to find it's worth nearly $1 million. That's the moment where everything changes. Here's something else most people don't realize. Coins like the 1979 D penny continue to appreciate in value over time. As more are found and bought by private collectors, the rarity increases, driving demand and pushing prices higher. And with more Americans turning toward tangible assets in uncertain economic times, coins have become one of the most stable and secretive ways to build wealth. It's no wonder that savvy investors, even those outside the numismatic world, are now adding rare pennies to their portfolios. But there's a deeper message here. This story isn't just about coins, it's about potential. It's about looking at the ordinary and seeing the extraordinary. The same way this humble penny hides a fortune, your own life might be filled with untapped opportunities waiting to be discovered. Sometimes, wealth isn't something you chase. It's something you uncover, right in front of you, once you learn how to look. So before you toss another penny aside, take a moment. Examine it. Appreciate it. Because one day, that small, forgotten coin could become your greatest discovery. And when that day comes, you won't just be holding a rare piece of American history. You'll be holding proof that fortune favors the curious. The world is full of stories about lost treasures and secret riches, but this one is real, tangible, and possibly sitting in your home right now. So go ahead, grab that jar of coins, take a closer look, and start your search today. Because every great fortune starts with one small decision to look closer. And if you found this story inspiring, imagine what else could be hiding in plain sight. Subscribe now for more discoveries about coins that could change your life. The next video might reveal the penny sitting in your drawer that's worth even more than the 1979 D. Don't miss it. Your journey toward hidden wealth might just begin with the next click. Have you ever wondered if that old penny sitting in your drawer could be worth more than your car, your house, or even your entire retirement fund? It sounds impossible, right? But believe it or not, one ordinary-looking 1980 Lincoln penny without a mint mark has sold for nearly $1 million. Yes, a single cent, worth up to $980,000 in today's market. And if you think that's rare, wait until you hear why some of these coins could be hiding right under your nose. Back in 1980, the Lincoln penny was one of the most commonly circulated coins in America. Millions of them were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which, by tradition, didn't place a mint mark on its coins. So if you look at a 1980 penny and notice it doesn't have a small letter under the date, that's completely normal. But here's where things get fascinating. Among those countless coins, a few were struck under near-perfect conditions or contain rare, microscopic errors that make them incredibly valuable. Think of it like this: millions of people walk through life every day, but only a few leave a mark that changes history. The same goes for coins. Some of these 1980 no mint mark pennies have what collectors call die errors or double die obverse strikes, where Abraham Lincoln's portrait, the lettering, or the date appears slightly doubled due to a misalignment during minting. To the untrained eye, it might just look like a smudge or shadow, but to a collector, that subtle flaw is a jackpot waiting to be discovered. Now imagine rummaging through your old coin jar and realizing you've been holding one of these ultra-rare pieces for decades. That small copper coin you got as change from a gas station in 1983 might not just buy a cup of coffee. It could buy the entire cafe.so. What makes these coins so valuable? Let's break it down. First, condition is everything. Coins graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC that achieve a mint state grade, especially MS67 or higher, can fetch eye-popping prices. One recently sold for an astonishing $980,000 because it was virtually flawless, with stunning luster and impeccable detail. These aren't just coins, they're historical time capsules preserved in perfection. But rarity isn't only about condition. Some of these pennies contain unique minting errors, like off-center strikes, die cracks, or even missing elements in Lincoln's design. Each one tells a story, a small mechanical mistake frozen in metal that collectors will pay a fortune to own. And here's the best part: you don't have to be an expert to find one. All you need is curiosity, a magnifying glass, and a little patience. Picture this. A man in Illinois once found a 1980 no mint mark penny in a shoebox that his late father had kept for years. He almost spent it, thinking it was ordinary, until a coin shop told him it was worth over $15,000 because of a small doubling on the word liberty. That one discovery changed the way he looked at every coin in his pocket. Stories like his aren't myths. They're happening more often than you think. And here's where it gets exciting. The value of rare coins isn't static. It's growing. As collectors compete for the best preserved and most unusual specimens, prices soar. Wealthy investors now view rare coins as alternative assets, much like fine art or vintage cars. The demand is rising and the supply, well, it's not growing because the US Mint stopped making these in the same way decades ago. Every time someone discovers one, that's one less mystery penny out there. Scarcity drives worth. If you've ever thought about starting a side hustle or finding a way to secure your future, this could be your hidden opportunity. There are entire online communities, coin shows, and auction houses where these Lincoln cents are changing hands for life-changing sums. And unlike cryptocurrency or stocks, you can literally hold this investment in your hand, a piece of history that grows more valuable with time. Now, before you grab every penny you see, let's talk about the reality check. Not all 1980 no mint mark pennies are worth a fortune. The vast majority are worth face value, 1 cent. But that's what makes this so thrilling. The possibility that one coin out of millions could change your financial story creates an undeniable sense of excitement, and maybe a little fear of missing out, doesn't it? Because here's the truth. People are cashing in every day while others let opportunities slip through their fingers. Some are selling rare coins they never knew they had, paying off debts, buying homes, or retiring early. And you might be one discovery away from doing the same. You're probably wondering how to tell if your 1980 penny is one of the valuable ones. Start by examining the coin under good lighting. Look closely at Lincoln's face, the word liberty, and the date. Any doubling, distortion, or raised metal lines could mean you're holding an error coin. Also, check the coin's condition, scratches, discoloration, or wear can significantly reduce value, while crisp, well-defined details increase it exponentially. If you think you have something special, don't rush to sell it online just yet. Seek a professional opinion. Reputable coin grading services can authenticate and grade your coin, often turning a few dollars into thousands overnight. And if your coin truly stands out, well, you might just see it featured at a national auction, where collectors bid fiercely for ownership. There's something poetic about it, isn't there? A humble penny, overlooked and underestimated, suddenly commanding the respect and the price of a luxury car. It's a reminder that true value isn't always visible at first glance. Just like people, sometimes the greatest treasures are hidden in plain sight, so next time you find a 1980 penny with no mint mark, don't dismiss it. Study it, protect it, because one day you might be telling your own story of how a forgotten coin transformed your life. The market is heating up, collectors are buying fast, and the window of opportunity won't stay open forever. Every coin you check is a step closer to finding your fortune, or watching someone else find theirs. If you're ready to start searching, learning, and maybe uncovering a piece of hidden history worth nearly $1 million, start today. Don't wait until it's too late, because treasures like these don't wait for anyone. Before you go, remember this: wealth doesn't always come from hard labor or luck. Sometimes, it's sitting quietly in a dusty jar, waiting for someone curious enough to look closer. If you enjoyed this journey into the world of rare coins and hidden fortune, subscribe for more stories about coins worth money, real discoveries, and the secrets to living a wealthy, fulfilled life. Because your next great discovery might just be one penny away. What if I told you that a single penny sitting quietly in your drawer could be worth nearly $1 million? Sounds impossible, right? But this is no myth. The 1987 D. Lincoln penny, an unassuming 1-cent coin minted in Denver, has taken the numismatic world by storm, with rare examples selling for jaw-dropping prices, some even reaching close to $987,000. Before you dismiss that handful of change in your kitchen, you might want to take a closer look. Because today, we're diving deep into the incredible story, mystery, and value behind one of the most surprising modern coin treasures in America. It all begins in 1987, a time when the United States was riding a wave of economic optimism. The Lincoln cent had been around for decades, first appearing in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. By 1987, billions of these coins were minted, and the average person would have never thought twice about them. After all, they were just pennies everywhere, ordinary, forgettable. But as every collector knows, even in a sea of copper and zinc, there are always a few that rise to legendary status. Now here's where it gets interesting. Most 1987 D pennies are worth face value 1 cent. But a rare few have something extraordinary about them. These are the coins struck with unique minting errors, pristine conditions, or rare die varieties that slipped through the mint's inspection system. Some display double die obverse, off-center strikes, or even high-grade finishes that survive decades without a single scratch. Imagine finding one of those in your pocket change. How's that for a plot twist? What makes these pennies worth hundreds of thousands, and in some rare cases, millions? It all comes down to rarity, condition, and collector demand. A coin graded at the highest mint state levels, MS68 or higher, can command prices that sound more like real estate numbers than coin values. One near-perfect 1987 D penny, gleaming under magnification with flawless surfaces and sharp details, sold at auction for an astonishing $987,000. That's right, almost $1 million for a single penny. Let that sink in for a moment. Now, you might be thinking, how could something so small, so ordinary, be worth that much? That's the beauty of numismatics. It's not about size, it's about story. Every coin tells a tale of history, precision, and chance. The U.S. Mint produced hundreds of millions of 1987 D pennies, but only a handful remain in untouched, perfect condition. Time, circulation, and human carelessness destroy most coins' value. So when a flawless survivor surfaces decades later, collectors go wild. And when competition enters the scene, well, that's when prices explode. Picture this: 2 high-profile collectors sitting in a packed auction room, each determined to own that one penny. The bids climb. $100, $000, $200,000, $500,000, and before you know it, the hammer drops at nearly $1 million. The crowd gasps, the headlines roll in, and suddenly, every American is checking their pocket change. What if you have one too? Here's where the fear creeps in, the fear of missing out. Somewhere, right now, someone could be holding a fortune without realizing it. How many people have tossed away rare coins, never knowing what they truly had? How many treasures have vanished in cash registers, parking meters, or vending machines? Every coin collector's nightmare, and every lucky finder's dream, begins with one simple truth. You don't know what you have until you look. So how do you know if your 1987 D penny could be one of these rare gems? Start with the basics. Flip it under good lighting and check for mint luster. Coins that shine like they were just struck are your first clue. Examine Lincoln's profile. Are there doubled features in the letters or the date? That could indicate a valuable error. Next, check the coin's condition. The fewer scratches, the sharper the detail, the higher the potential grade. And if it's never been circulated, stored in mint sets or sealed rolls, well, you might want to get it professionally graded before spending it on a gumball. Now, here's where excitement meets opportunity. Coin grading companies like PCGS or NGC can officially certify your penny's value. A high-grade certification can instantly elevate your coin from pocket change to investment-grade asset. Collectors and investors alike are constantly searching for rare, top-condition coins to add to their portfolios. And believe it or not, coins like the 1987 D penny have become a symbol of unexpected wealth. A modern-day gold rush hidden in plain sight, let's be honest. There's something thrilling about turning something so small into something so valuable. It challenges everything we assume about money, wealth, and luck. How often do we overlook the little things, not realizing their true worth? It's almost poetic. The idea that a simple 1-cent coin, created for everyday transactions, could later become a symbol of prosperity and fortune. It reminds us that wealth often hides in the most unlikely places. And here's the twist most people never see coming. Rarity doesn't just mean limited numbers. It also means time is running out. As collectors scoop up the remaining high-grade 1987 D pennies, the available supply shrinks. Prices rise, interest surges, and the few coins left in pristine condition become almost mythical. Every year that passes makes it harder to find one untouched, uncirculated, and unblemished. That's why acting now isn't just smart. It's essential. So what should you do? Start by checking your collection, your old coin jars, and even those dusty drawers you haven't opened in years. You'd be amazed how many valuable coins are hiding in plain sight. If you find a 1987 D penny in great shape, handle it carefully, store it properly, and consider getting it appraised. Even if it's not worth $1 million, you might still be sitting on hundreds or even thousands of dollars. And if you're serious about collecting, this is your time to start. The market for rare coins is booming, and it's not slowing down anytime soon. Think of it this way. Every great opportunity begins with awareness. Most people will watch videos like this and do nothing, but a few will take action. They'll search, they'll learn, they'll invest, and they'll be the ones living the life others only dream about. Because in the world of rare coins, fortunes aren't just found, they're discovered. And who knows? The next life-changing penny might already be in your pocket. So before you spend that next coin, take one more look. You could be holding the key to a 6-figure fortune, maybe even your first step toward financial freedom. Don't let it slip through your fingers. If this story inspired you to start checking your own change, make sure you subscribe for more hidden wealth stories just like this one. Your next great discovery might be closer than you think. And remember, sometimes all it takes to change your life is just one penny. Imagine pulling out an old jar of pennies from the back of a dusty drawer, the same one you've ignored for years. You pour them out, and among the dull copper and tarnished zinc, one coin gleams just a little differently. That simple penny, the 1992 D Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent coin, could be worth nearly $1 million. Sounds unbelievable, doesn't it? But it's true. Some of these humble coins, hiding in plain sight, are now valued at up to $992,000. And if you've got one sitting in your home, your life could change in an instant. For most of us, pennies are almost invisible. We toss them in jars, ignore them on sidewalks, or trade them in for cash at the supermarket kiosk. But what if I told you that the 1992 D penny has become one of the most sought-after modern coins in American numismatic history. One that collectors, dealers, and investors are fighting to get their hands on, because it represents one of the rarest minting mysteries of the Lincoln Cent series. So what makes this tiny copper coin so valuable? It's not made of gold, it's not a proof coin, and it wasn't struck centuries ago. The secret lies in a subtle design difference, one so small that even trained eyes can miss it. In 1992, the U.S. Mint was preparing to transition the reverse design of the Lincoln Memorial Cent to a new, more refined version. During this process, a small batch of coins accidentally received what's known as the close AM reverse, meaning the letters A and M in the word America nearly touch. For most 1992 coins, those letters are clearly separated, the wide AM version. But in just a handful of Denver minted pennies, the A and M were too close together. That microscopic mistake is now worth a fortune. Think about that for a second. A single letter spacing, barely noticeable to the naked eye, transformed an ordinary 1-cent coin into an object of obsession. One sold for nearly $1 million. Another fetched over $600,000. And the best part? These aren't coins buried in museum vaults. They're out there, in circulation, waiting to be found. Now, before you rush to the nearest coin jar with a magnifying glass, there's something important to understand. The 1992 D close AM penny isn't just rare. It's practically mythical. Experts estimate only a handful exist. Many were likely melted down, lost, or still sitting unnoticed in private collections. But every once in a while, a lucky finder stumbles upon one. Sometimes during a coin roll hunt, sometimes tucked away in a childhood piggy bank. And that's where the excitement and the opportunity comes in. The thought that your old change could be worth more than your car? That's the kind of thrill that keeps collectors searching. And it's also a wake-up call. Because the difference between finding one and missing one can come down to curiosity or carelessness. The truth is, most people don't even bother to look. They assume all pennies are the same. They let potential fortune slip right through their fingers. But not you. You're still here listening because deep down you know something, that opportunities to build wealth aren't always loud or flashy. Sometimes they whisper from the edge of a coin. Let's zoom in on the details. If you've got a 1992 penny with a D mint mark, meaning it was made in Denver, flip it over and look closely at America. On the rare close AM version, the A and M almost touch. On regular 1992 pennies, there's a clear gap. If yours looks like the first kind, congratulations. You might be holding one of the rarest Lincoln cents ever struck. But don't stop there. Even if it's not the close AM variety, certain 1992 D pennies in pristine mint state condition can still fetch hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars. Grading makes a massive difference. A coin in MS-67 condition could bring you a small fortune. It's not just about the metal. It's about history. It's about legacy. Each rare coin tells a story of precision, error, and luck, all colliding in a way no one could predict. And in that story lies a message. The smallest details can lead to the biggest rewards. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? That's life in a nutshell. But let's be honest. The dream of finding $1 million penny can also stir a little fear. What if you already had one and spent it without realizing? What if that one coin at the gas station counter, the one you used to pay for gum, could have changed your life forever? It's a chilling thought. Yet it's also a powerful reminder that fortune doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes it slips quietly through the cracks of our attention. Now, here's where it gets truly fascinating. In the last few years, interest in rare pennies has skyrocketed. Auction houses are breaking records. Private collectors are bidding higher than ever. The 1992 D close AM penny has become a legend, a holy grail for those chasing financial freedom through numismatic treasures. And with today's market conditions, the next verified discovery could set a new price record. Some experts predict it could easily cross the $1 million mark. Imagine that moment. You send your coin off to be authenticated. Days later, you get the call. You're the owner of a genuine 1992 D close AM Lincoln cent. Your heart races. The world suddenly feels lighter. In that moment, your story changes. from an ordinary collector to someone who found a once-in-a-lifetime treasure. That's not just wealth. That's history with your name written on it. Of course, there's humor in it too. The idea that a penny, something we literally bend down to avoid picking up, could pay off your mortgage, your kid's college, or even a beach house in Florida. This poetic irony at its finest. Makes you think twice before you let that cashier keep the change, doesn't it? So, what should you do next? Simple. Start searching. Look through your old change, your coin jars, the glove compartment, the kitchen drawers. Every single 1992 penny deserves a second look. Get a magnifying glass, use good lighting, and examine the spacing between the A and M. If you suspect you've got something special, consult a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Even if it turns out to be a regular one, the process will open your eyes to a fascinating world where history, craftsmanship, and opportunity collide. And here's the real takeaway. The 1992 penny isn't just about the money. It's about perspective. It's proof that value often hides in plain sight. That wealth isn't always created through massive investments or risky ventures. Sometimes it's about paying attention to the overlooked. It's about finding beauty and fortune in the ordinary. As we move toward the end of the story, ask yourself, how many treasures have you walked past without noticing? How many opportunities have slipped through your hands because they seemed too small to matter? Maybe this penny isn't just a coin. Maybe it's a metaphor, a reminder that even the smallest things can hold unimaginable worth. And as collectors continue to chase the next million-dollar discovery, one thing is certain. The world of coins still holds countless secrets waiting to be found. The question is, will you be the one to uncover them? So, before you scroll away, before you toss that handful of change aside, take one last look. That little copper coin might just be your ticket to a new life, one of financial freedom, curiosity, and discovery. Because sometimes, wealth doesn't come from chasing what's new, but from rediscovering what's been right in front of us all along. If you want to learn more about coins that could change your life, make sure you subscribe, because the next one we uncover might just be sitting in your pocket right now. What if I told you that a simple penny sitting in your pocket, one you might overlook or even toss aside, could secretly be worth hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars? Imagine finding that kind of wealth hiding in plain sight, inside an old coin jar or tucked away in your childhood collection. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most surprising treasures of American coinage, the 2000 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny. A coin so ordinary, yet in rare cases so extraordinarily valuable that it has changed the lives of those who discovered it. It all begins with what seems like just another penny. The year 2000 was the dawn of a new millennium. Y2K panic, technology booms, and a world stepping into the digital age. But in the midst of all that, the United States Mint continued producing one of the most familiar coins in circulation. The Lincoln cent billions were made. Most are worth just 1 cent, maybe a little more if shiny and uncirculated. But here's the twist. Among those billions hides a small number of error coins, rare variations that collectors would pay staggering sums to own. And these elusive treasures? They bear no mint mark at all. Now, you might be thinking, no mint mark? Isn't that normal? And you're right. In 2000, pennies struck in Philadelphia carried no mint mark. But within that group, a few unique pieces were minted with striking errors and double designs that sent shockwaves through the coin collecting world. Some of these coins, depending on condition, rarity, and demand, have sold for as much as $200,000. Yes, you heard that right, $200,000 for a single penny. Let that sink in for a moment. How many of those have we all spent without a second thought? Here's where it gets fascinating. The 2000 no-mint mark penny became legendary not just for its age, but for a specific variety known as the wide AM reverse error. Normally, on a standard 2000 penny, the letters A and M in the word America on the reverse side are close together. But on this rare variation, the letters are spaced wider apart. A tiny difference that can mean a life-changing fortune. A simple magnifying glass could be the only thing standing between you and discovering a six-figure payday. Can you imagine finding one? Maybe tucked inside an old drawer, in a forgotten coin jar, or mixed with change from your morning coffee. People have done exactly that. Stories circulate of collectors and casual finders who've stumbled upon these elusive pieces, only to learn that their worthless penny was more valuable than their car, sometimes even their house. And here's the kicker. These discoveries aren't over. They still happen today. But what makes these coins so valuable? It's a mix of rarity, error, and demand. The wide AM variety wasn't supposed to exist in 2000. It was a production mix-up, a remnant from proof coins struck with a different design. These rare pieces accidentally slipped into regular circulation. Only a few have ever been verified, making them holy grails for collectors. Add in top-grade condition those shiny, untouched surfaces graded by experts at PCGS or NGC, and the price skyrockets. A pristine example has fetched over $200,000 at auction. And yet, most Americans walk past this treasure every single day. We glance at pennies without a thought, letting opportunity literally slip through our fingers. Think about it. How many times have you handed over a penny in change, never realizing it might have been a key to financial freedom? It's a haunting thought, isn't it? But here's where things get even more intriguing. Beyond the wide AM variety, some 2000 no-mint mark pennies show double dies, minute design doubling that occurred during the minting process. These subtle imperfections are not damage. They're minting miracles. Collectors crave them. Each one tells a story of a machine hiccup that turned metal into treasure. If that doesn't make you curious to check your coin jar tonight, nothing will. Because these coins are still out there. Every single day, Americans unknowingly spend coins that could be worth thousands or hundreds of thousands. And with the current market booming for rare Lincoln cents, the time to act is now. The value of collectible coins, especially rare error varieties, has surged dramatically over the past decade. Wealth seekers and investors alike are turning to numismatics not just as a hobby, but as a hedge against inflation, a legacy asset, and a symbol of financial independence. And maybe that's the true power of this story. A humble penny, once dismissed as insignificant, now represents possibility. It's proof that wealth can hide where we least expect it. For some, that realization has been life-changing. Imagine the rush of emotion when a coin dealer tells you your find is worth 6 figures. Excitement, shock, disbelief, and then the realization that sometimes fortune really does favor the curious. Still, there's an unspoken urgency here. As time passes, fewer of these rare 2000 pennies remain in circulation. Many have already been claimed, graded, and stored away in private collections. The odds are shrinking each day, and that window of opportunity won't stay open forever. Waiting too long could mean missing your chance entirely. So, what should you do? Start by checking your change. Search through old jars, drawers, or rolls of coins you might have collected over the years. Look closely, especially at the word America on the back of any 2000 penny without a mint mark. Are the A and M spread apart? If so, you might just be holding a piece of American minting history worth more than gold. And if you find something unusual, don't rush to sell it at your local pawn shop. Get it authenticated by a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. These experts can confirm whether you truly have a rare and valuable coin and ensure you get every dollar it's worth. But let's not forget the bigger picture. Discovering a coin like this isn't just about the money. It's about what it represents. Opportunity, awareness, a reminder that sometimes life-changing wealth isn't found in a business deal or the stock market. It's hidden in plain sight, waiting for someone observant enough to notice. And maybe that's what makes this story so timeless. Because every coin has a story, every scratch a history, and every collector a dream. Whether you're chasing financial freedom or simply the thrill of the hunt, the 2000 no-mint mark Lincoln penny stands as a symbol of both. So tonight, as you empty your pockets or sift through spare change, ask yourself, could there be a $200,000 penny in your possession right now? You'll never know unless you look. And who knows? The next great discovery might be sitting in your hand at this very moment, quietly whispering its value to the one who dares to see it. Don't wait for luck to find you. Go out and find it yourself. Because sometimes, fortune really does start with just 1 cent. If you enjoyed uncovering this mystery of hidden wealth, make sure to subscribe for more rare coin discoveries and insider knowledge on how you can turn everyday finds into extraordinary fortune. Your next penny might just be your million-dollar moment. Imagine finding a single penny in your pocket, one you've probably ignored 1,000 times before. Now imagine learning that this tiny coin, the 2002 Mint Mark Lincoln penny, could be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, even up to $1 million in the right condition. It sounds unbelievable, doesn't it? But in the world of rare coins, the smallest details can transform an ordinary cent into a life-changing discovery. The story of this humble penny begins in 2002 at the Denver Mint. Over 5 billion of these coins were produced. Seemingly common, easily overlooked, the kind of penny most people toss into a jar or drop between car seats. Yet among those billions, a few emerged with rare variations, minting errors, and pristine conditions that would later capture the attention of collectors across the country. What makes one of these small copper-plated zinc coins worth up to $202,000 today? The answer lies in the extraordinary imperfections and preservation that separate rarity from routine. You see, not all 2002 pennies are created equal. Most are worth only their face value, 1 cent. But a handful of them, those struck with extreme precision, full red luster, and nearly flawless surfaces, have become the holy grail for collectors. Some even display minting anomalies, double dies, off-center strikes, or die cracks that make them one of a kind. And when something is one of a kind, its value doesn't just rise, it explodes. Collectors are willing to pay astronomical prices for coins that tell a story. And this penny? It tells the story of America's craftsmanship, of a moment in time when machines and metal collided to create accidental masterpieces. One of the most astonishing sales involved a near-perfect 2002 penny graded MS-70 by professional graders. Under magnification, its details were sharp, its luster vibrant. No scratches, no marks, no blemishes. It sold for over $202,000 at auction, leaving even seasoned collectors stunned. Now, here's where it gets fascinating. Many of these valuable pennies are hiding in plain sight, in old drawers, in dusty coin jars, in change from a grocery store that you never bothered to check. The reality is, these coins are not locked away in museums. They're out there waiting for someone who pays attention. And that someone could be you. Take a moment to think about it. How many times have you handled a penny without a second glance? How often have you dismissed spare change as worthless? The irony is that while most people are chasing wealth in complicated ways, stocks, real estate, crypto, the answer might already be jingling in their pocket. Wealth doesn't always come from new opportunities. Sometimes, it hides in the ordinary. But before you run to your coin jar, let's talk about what makes a 2002 penny truly valuable. First, condition is everything. A coin that looks brand new, untouched by circulation, can fetch thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands. Grading agencies like PCGS or NGC assign these ratings, and their highest grade, MS-70, indicates a perfect strike. The difference between a coin worth a cent and one worth a small fortune could be as simple as a microscopic scratch. Second, errors. A double die reverse, a misaligned die, or a dramatic off-center strike can make a coin unique. In the coin world, errors are not mistakes, they're miracles. And collectors love miracles. Third, provenance. A coin's journey matters. A 2002 penny discovered in a sealed mint set, preserved for decades, tells a story of care and rarity that collectors reward with premium prices. And here's where the excitement and the urgency kicks in. As time passes, coins deteriorate. The fewer pristine examples that remain, the higher the demand climbs. This is not a static market. It's one that grows sharper, more competitive, and more rewarding every year. In other words, the clock is ticking on the 2002 penny's golden window of opportunity. Think about it. Right now, as you're listening, someone might be holding one of these rare coins without even knowing it. Someone might be tossing away $202,000 disguised as 1 cent. That's the thrilling and slightly terrifying reality of coin collecting. It rewards knowledge and punishes neglect. And the deeper you go into this world, the more addictive it becomes. The gleam of copper, the crispness of Lincoln's portrait, the sharpness of the D mint mark. It all tells you that wealth is not just in the currency's face value, but in its story. The 2002 D penny is more than a coin. It's a symbol of overlooked potential. Here's a fun thought. What if you've already had one of these pennies? What if, years ago, you used it to buy coffee or handed it to a cashier without realizing it was worth more than your car? That tiny fear, that possibility, keeps every collector's heart racing. It's the thrill of the hunt. So what should you do right now? Start looking. Search through old collections, check your rolls of pennies, inspect every coin with a magnifier under bright light. If you find one that shines with full red luster, no visible wear, and crisp edges, get it graded. Don't wait, because every day that passes, more of these rare gems disappear into private collections forever. And if you do find one, if you uncover a 2002 D penny with the right traits, you're not just holding a coin, you're holding history, luck, and opportunity in the palm of your hand. Imagine turning 1 cent into $202,000. That's not just wealth, it's transformation. In the end, this isn't just about pennies. It's about mindset. The people who become wealthy aren't always the ones chasing the next big thing. They're the ones who recognize hidden value where others see none. Maybe that's why this story resonates so deeply. It reminds us that fortune often hides in plain sight, waiting for those willing to look closer. So here's your challenge. After this video ends, don't just walk away inspired. Act. Check your coins. Learn the details. Educate yourself about grading, mint marks, and die errors, because one small action could change your financial story forever. Who knows? The next millionaire coin might already be in your home. And when you find it, you'll realize that sometimes the greatest treasures aren't buried in the ground. They're sitting quietly in your pocket, waiting for you to notice. Stay curious, stay inspired, and remember, wealth favors the observant. If you want more insights on rare coins worth money, make sure you're subscribed and ready for the next discovery. Your journey toward hidden fortune has just begun. What if the penny sitting quietly in your change jar right now could be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars? Imagine realizing that the small copper coin you've ignored for years could change your financial future forever. Sounds impossible? Well, not when we're talking about the 2006 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny. A coin that's turning ordinary people into astonished collectors, and in rare cases, millionaires. Most people see a penny and think, it's just 1 cent. But what if I told you some of these 2006 Denver minted pennies are valued up to $206,000 today, and that certain varieties could climb even higher? Somewhere out there, in pockets, drawers, and dusty coin jars, lies a fortune disguised as a common coin. And if you think that sounds crazy, stay with me. Because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why this unassuming little penny is rewriting coin collecting history, and how you could be sitting on one yourself. Let's start with a bit of context. The 2006 D Lincoln penny was struck at the Denver Mint, easily recognized by the small D under the date on the obverse side. It was part of the long-running Lincoln Cent series, featuring the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, first introduced in 1909. By 2006, billions of these coins were minted, 4.2 billion to be exact. So why on earth would one of them be worth 6 figures? That's the part that makes collectors' hearts race. You see, not every penny is created equal. While most are worth just a cent, a tiny number have errors, varieties, or flawless conditions that send their value soaring into the stratosphere. The difference between 1 cent and $200,000 could be just a faint doubling in the lettering, a minting mishap, or a condition so pristine that even professional graders gasp when they see it. And that's exactly what happened with the most valuable 2006 D Lincoln penny. A nearly flawless specimen, graded by the Professional Coin Grading Service, or PCGS, was auctioned for an eye-watering $206,000. Why? Because it was struck on a special planchet with a mirror-like surface, known as a proof-like error. Its surface shimmered, its strike was sharp, and its details were unmatched. Collectors went wild. When the bidding ended, that humble penny had joined the ranks of America's most surprising treasures. Now, here's the kicker. Experts believe there are more of these hidden gems still out there. That's right, in circulation, in rolls from the bank, even mixed in with coins you handle every day. You could be holding one right now and not even realize it. But before you go dumping out every coin jar in the house, you'll want to know what to look for. Start by checking the D Mint mark. Look closely under magnification for doubling on Lincoln's eye, nose, or the date. Some of the most valuable error pennies show signs of die doubling, where the image was struck twice, giving letters and features a shadow-like effect. Others might show what's known as a die crack or cud, a small raised bump where the metal filled a damaged area of the die. And of course, pristine condition matters more than anything. If your penny still has its original luster without scratches or discoloration, it might just be your golden ticket. Think about it. People throw away or overlook pennies every day. How many fortunes are sitting in parking lots, couch cushions, or car cup holders right now? It's almost poetic, isn't it? The smallest denomination in our currency might hold the biggest surprise of all. Now, let's be real, not every 2060 penny is going to make you rich. Most are worth face value. But the ones that do hit the jackpot remind us of something bigger. Opportunity hides in plain sight. The people who find these coins aren't necessarily lucky. They're paying attention. They're curious, patient, and persistent. They know that wealth doesn't always come from big investments or risky ventures. Sometimes it comes from recognizing value where others see none. And this is where fear meets excitement. Because for every person who discovers a six-figure penny, there are thousands who unknowingly spend theirs away at a gas station or drop them into a tip jar. Every time you hand over change without looking, you could be letting $206,000 slip through your fingers. That's a chilling thought, isn't it? But here's the exciting part: you can do something about it right now. Start by collecting and inspecting your coins. Invest in a simple magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. Learn to recognize the telltale signs of errors and varieties. You don't need to be an expert overnight. You just need to be curious enough to start. And if you do find something special, don't rush to sell it on eBay or Craigslist. Instead, have it authenticated by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Their certification adds credibility and can multiply the value of your coin exponentially. Many collectors have turned modest finds into life-changing payouts simply because they took the time to do things the right way. It's almost funny, isn't it? We chase wealth in the form of stocks, real estate, and business ventures, all while a fortune might be jingling in our pocket. Sometimes, life hides its greatest rewards in the smallest places. And the 2006 Lincoln penny is a shining example of that truth. Now picture this. You're sitting at home, sorting through your change, when suddenly a coin catches your eye. The shine looks different, the details sharper. You check the date, 2006. The mint mark D. You tilt it under the light and spot a faint doubling on the lettering. Your pulse quickens. Could it be? You send it in for grading, and weeks later you open an email that changes your life. Your penny has been valued at $206,000. Just like that, the coin you once thought was worthless becomes your ticket to financial freedom. What would you do with that kind of money? Pay off your house? Travel the world? Start that business you've been dreaming about? That's the power of awareness, and the reason stories like this inspire people to look at everyday life differently. The truth is, opportunities to build wealth aren't always loud or flashy. Sometimes they whisper. Sometimes they hide beneath the copper surface of a coin we've held 1,000 times. And those who listen, those who look closer, are the ones who uncover life's hidden treasures. So, before you dismiss that next penny, pause. Look closer, because history has shown, time and again, that fortunes favor the curious. Somewhere out there, the next $206,000 penny is waiting to be found, maybe by someone just like you. And if you want to learn exactly how to spot these rare coins, how to value them correctly, and where to sell them for maximum profit, make sure you subscribe right now. The next video might just show you the difference between a 1-cent coin and a life-changing discovery. After all, the wealth you've been searching for might already be in your pocket. Don't let it slip away. Imagine finding a single penny that could change your life forever. A coin so ordinary that millions of people walk past it every single day. Yet in the right condition, it could be worth more than a luxury sports car, more than your mortgage, even more than your entire retirement fund. Sounds impossible, right? Well, let's talk about the 2016 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. A coin hiding in plain sight, quietly sitting in jars, drawers, and forgotten piggy banks across America, waiting to be discovered. Every collector dreams of the moment they realize their pocket change might hold a fortune. But what makes this humble copper-plated coin so special? To understand that, we need to go back to where it all began. A design born from legacy, a mistake born from precision, and a market driven by obsession. The 2016 Lincoln penny was minted in Philadelphia, that's why it carries no mint mark. For most people, it's just another 1-cent coin. Yet, for the trained eye, certain rare varieties from this year have made collectors' hearts race and wallets open. You see, not all 2016 pennies are equal. Some display subtle errors, the kind that only reveal themselves under close inspection. Doubling on the date, misaligned strikes, or die cuts that mark them as one of a kind. These microscopic imperfections are what transform an everyday coin into a masterpiece worth thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now, here's where things get fascinating. A near-perfect 2016 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, in pristine condition, has reached an astonishing value of $216,000 in the collector's market. That's right, 1 cent turned into a small fortune. How? It's a combination of scarcity, condition, and the sheer frenzy among coin collectors seeking perfection. Coins graded at the highest mint state levels, MS69 and MS70, are the holy grail. They're almost flawless, and flawless coins command flawless prices. But before you start emptying every jar in your house, here's something to think about. The real question isn't just, do I have one? It's, would I even recognize it if I did? Most people wouldn't. The fear of missing out is real here. Every day, someone unknowingly spends or tosses away a coin that could have changed their life. Isn't it ironic that people chase lottery tickets while fortune hides in their spare change? The Lincoln penny has always carried a piece of American history. First introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, it became the first U.S. coin to feature a real person. Over the decades, designs evolved: the wheat reverse, the memorial, and now the Union Shield. Each version has its own story, its own rarities, and its own lucky few who struck gold by spotting them. The 2016 version continues that legacy, unassuming, yet full of potential. Think about this for a second. In 2016 alone, the Philadelphia Mint struck over 4 billion pennies. That means the odds of finding a rare one are staggeringly low. But low odds don't mean impossible. Collectors and treasure hunters across the country have turned this into a passion. Some even a profession. People have literally paid off debts, bought homes, and started new lives. All because they noticed a small difference most people ignored. It's not just about luck. It's about awareness, timing, and knowledge. And knowledge, in this world, is priceless. Knowing what to look for, like a double die on the obverse or a smooth uncirculated finish, could be the difference between a penny and a payday. The clock is ticking though. As more collectors flood the market and more coins are graded, the supply tightens and the demand only grows. What happens when there are no more high-grade specimens left to find? Their value skyrockets. There's something thrilling about that, isn't there? The idea that hidden wealth might be sitting in your possession right now. Maybe it's in that old coffee can in your garage, or in the box of coins your grandparents left behind. Every time you pick up a penny, you could be holding a fortune and not even know it. But let's face it, not everyone will find a $216,000 coin. Yet, those who do, they all share one thing in common. They looked. They didn't dismiss what seemed ordinary. They didn't assume that wealth was only found in big investments or risky ventures. They found it in what others overlooked. There's a lesson in that, don't you think? The 2016 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is more than metal. It's a symbol, a reminder that even the smallest things can hold massive value. It challenges the way we see money, luck, and opportunity. In a world obsessed with digital wealth and fast gains, it whispers an old truth. Treasure still exists, but only for those who care to look closely. Now, here's where the excitement truly builds. Coin experts and grading companies have reported a growing interest in modern-era coins, especially those minted after 2000. Why? Because new collectors are flooding the market, driving up prices and competition. And when demand rises faster than supply, values explode. It's happening right now, and if history repeats itself, the 2016 no-mint mark Lincoln penny could soon become one of the most sought-after modern rarities in U.S. coinage. Imagine a few years from now, watching a news segment about someone who discovered a life-changing penny, and realizing you had hundreds of them once but never bothered to check. That's the kind of regret no one wants to live with. So maybe it's time to look. Maybe it's time to start. Because wealth favors the curious, not the careless. And let's be honest, there's something empowering about turning your own knowledge into opportunity. You don't need a millionaire's portfolio to join the hunt. You just need your eyes, your patience, and a little guidance. Even a magnifying glass wouldn't hurt. Or, as some collectors like to joke, a good pair of glasses and a strong cup of coffee. Every rare coin story begins the same way, with someone who didn't know what they had until they looked closer. Today, that someone could be you. The question is, will you take the chance to find out? So, the next time you come across a 2016 penny with no mint mark, don't let it slip through your fingers. Examine it. Protect it. You never know. It could be the one that changes your story forever. Because sometimes, the difference between an ordinary life and an extraordinary one is just a single penny away. If you're ready to uncover more hidden treasures like this, subscribe and stay tuned. The next coin we reveal might just be the one sitting in your pocket right now, worth $1 million more than you think. Imagine finding a single penny that could change your entire life. You reach into your pocket, pull out a 2017 D Lincoln penny, and realize this small copper coin, something most people wouldn't bend down to pick up, is worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Sounds unbelievable, right? Yet it's true. Today, we're diving deep into the story of the 2017 D Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent coin, a modern treasure that has stunned collectors, auction houses, and everyday Americans. Stay until the end, because I'll reveal the secret details that separate an ordinary penny from one worth over $217,000, and how one tiny mistake at the US Mint could turn spare change into life-changing wealth. Now, before you rush to check your coin jar, let's take a step back. The Lincoln penny has been in circulation for over a century, first introduced in 1909 to honor the great Abraham Lincoln. Over the decades, billions have been produced, but not all pennies are equal. Some hold secrets. Some hide errors so rare that they escape even the watchful eyes of the US Mint. And the 2017 D Lincoln penny is one of those rare cases where a simple manufacturing slip has made ordinary copper-plated zinc into a modern gold mine. The 2017 D penny, struck at the Denver Mint, was supposed to be just another routine release. Millions rolled off the press without issue. But somewhere along the production line, something unexpected happened. A die clash, a misalignment, or even a double strike. These tiny errors, invisible to the untrained eye, transformed a few of these coins into rare anomalies. And when a collector finds one of these unique errors in pristine condition, it becomes a ticket to six-figure fortune. Think about that for a moment. You might have spent a penny on a stick of gum years ago that's now worth more than a Lamborghini. It's both thrilling and slightly terrifying. How many treasures have we unknowingly let slip through our hands? What makes the 2017 D penny so valuable isn't just its rarity, but the perfect storm of demand, condition, and curiosity. Error coins have always fascinated collectors, but when they appear in recent mint years, they stir even more excitement. You see, older coins are expected to show minting inconsistencies. Machines back then weren't perfect. But today's precision technology makes errors far more uncommon. So when one does surface, it's a sensation that in one remarkable instance. A 2017 D Lincoln penny with an extraordinary die break and a flawless mint luster was graded in near-perfect condition by a top certification company. When it hit the market, the bids soared. Collectors and investors battled fiercely for ownership, pushing the final sale to an astonishing $217,000. That's right, a coin worth 1 cent sold for the price of a luxury home. Now, you might be wondering, how can you tell if you have one of these fortune-making coins? Here's where attention to detail can literally pay off. Check your penny under good light. Look for doubling in the lettering, especially in God We Trust or Liberty. Examine the mint mark D closely. Some versions show signs of repunching or unusual alignment. Even tiny die cracks or faint raised lines across Lincoln's portrait can indicate a valuable mint error. But remember, condition is king. Coins in mint state, meaning they've never been in circulation, can skyrocket in value. That's why collectors go crazy for uncirculated rolls or proof strikes. They hold the potential for undiscovered rarity. And here's where it gets interesting. Some experts believe there may be more of these rare 2017 D pennies still out there, sitting unnoticed in coin jars, vending machines, or old piggy banks. Every day, someone could be holding a small fortune without realizing it. Could that someone be you? Now, here's the part that really makes you think. Why would anyone pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for a 1-cent coin? Because in the world of numismatics, rarity meets passion. Collectors aren't just buying metal. They're buying history, mystery, and the thrill of discovery. They're competing for ownership of a piece of American heritage. And when money flows into that passion, even a penny becomes a masterpiece. Of course, there's a sense of urgency here. The more collectors learn about these coins, the fewer chances there are to find them cheaply. Once a coin becomes famous in the collecting community, its price often explodes overnight. The window to strike gold, so to speak, doesn't stay open forever. You might be asking yourself, how do I start? Simple. Begin with what you already have. Go through your spare change, your drawers, even old jars in your garage. Use a magnifying glass and take your time. If something looks unusual, don't dismiss it. Get it professionally graded. Many coin grading services can authenticate and value your coin for a modest fee, and that small investment could return hundreds of thousands. Imagine the possibilities. Paying off your mortgage, buying your dream car, or finally taking that long-awaited vacation. All from finding a coin most people overlook. It's not just about luck. It's about awareness. Those who take the time to look carefully are often the ones who strike fortune first. And let's be honest, there's a certain poetic justice in it, isn't there? The very coin that represents the smallest denomination of American money might hold the biggest potential for wealth. It reminds us that value isn't always obvious, and that opportunity often hides in plain sight. So, the next time you see a penny on the ground, maybe don't walk past it. Pick it up. Examine it. Who knows? You might just be holding the next $217,000 piece of history in your hand. The story of the 2017 D Lincoln penny isn't just about coins. It's about discovery, about paying attention to the small things, and about realizing that wealth can emerge from the most unexpected places. And if you've ever dreamed of living a life of comfort, of transforming something ordinary into something extraordinary, this is your moment to start looking. Because somewhere out there, hidden in a handful of loose change, could be the penny that changes your life forever. If you found this story inspiring, make sure to subscribe for more secrets of rare and valuable coins. The next one we uncover might just be sitting in your pocket right now.